When it comes to phones, are you Apple or Android? Seems like a pretty simple question, right? But a new feature coming to the iPhone may change your opinion. And here to talk about the new update is our friend and tech expert, Dave Hatter. Dave, so good to get to talk to you again. Now, this is a new development from iPhone, what it's going to require of apps. Tell us about that.
Well, as always, John, thanks for having me on. And yeah, this is an exciting new feature for people that care about privacy and security. Apple announced last year that they were going to make some significant changes. It's called the App Tracking Transparency Framework. It rolled out in two phases. The first phase is already out there. Now, if you want to put an app in the Apple Store for people to use on their phone, you basically have to tell people what data you're going to collect. If, for example, if you go right now to the Apple Store and you compare something like the Gmail app from Google to the Proton Mail app, which is a private, secure online email provider, it's quite shocking the difference in the amount of information that's collected. That's out there now. In phase two, which is set to roll out here in the next couple of weeks with Apple iOS 14.5, developers will have to ask you if you consent. You don't have to read through all that privacy stuff now and give the phone all various permissions and without understanding it. They have to explicitly ask you, do you consent to give them your information? And if you say no, which would be my recommendation in almost all cases, then they still have to let you use the app or Apple will ban them from the store. So it's a huge boon for privacy.
Now, as a practical application for most users, though, it means that a lot of apps that were free before are not going to be free anymore because they have to figure out some other way to make money.
That's an excellent point, John. And I think, this has caused a giant shakeup in the industry. Folks like Facebook and Google came out very strong against this because so many apps currently use what's known as surveillance capitalism. They're, quote, free because you're paying with your data, not with money. And now, with this new thing Apple's rolled out, if you choose not to give them your information, developers have to figure out another way to monetize their app. It's going to be real interesting to see where that goes. I don't know that anyone has figured this out yet, but there is certainly a chance that if you want to continue to use an app you've used in the past that was, quote, free, you might have to pay some nominal fee to use it simply because the developers need to make money somehow, or they're probably not going to continue to build that app.
Now, Apple's able to do this because, to its criticism by in some corners, they really hold up some pretty standards, tough standards for their app store and developers who want to have access to iPhone customers. I guess they can do that because of their size and that sort of thing, but they really do control their app store. They put the clamps down on it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that's always been the case with Apple. I mean, if you think about it versus Google and other companies out there, Apple really is a products-oriented company. They sell hardware and software. While they're certainly collecting your data, and I'm not saying they're not selling you or sending ads to you as a result of it, they don't try to monetize your data by selling it to other people. Whereas other companies like Google and Facebook, if you look at their revenue, it almost all comes from data they collect and then ads that are, get sold as a result. So yeah, Google has always been less restrictive around what can go in their app store, whereas Apple just trying to get an app in their store can be tricky. And now with these new requirements, it's even more difficult. But for you as a consumer, this is a really good thing. It puts the choice in your hands to have more control over what data is out there about you and frankly make smarter decisions. And in today's world where we see breaches every day, it's never been more important to think about these things and perhaps make the switch.
All right, now Dave Hatter, the consumers win one this time. Thank you so much for talking about this new feature of the iPhone.
My pleasure, John. Thanks.